Hey everybody, I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today I'm going to talk about why Gen X was right to mistrust everything. They say, I see this a lot online, that Gen X had a sneering distrust and a sneering skepticism toward everything. And we were right to. I mean, look how everything is panned out now. We're 2025, and it's coming out that all our food is basically a slow poison, not a deadly poison, but just enough to keep us sick, just enough to keep us ill, to keep us going to the doctor for pharmaceutical intervention to keep us alive. So now we have, a big chunk of our income goes towards this food, right? And then that keeps us sick. And then a big piece of our income goes toward the pharmaceutical industry to keep us alive because our food is slowly killing us. We were told our entire lives that margarine was the best thing for us, and vegetable oils were God's gift to the human race because animal fat was going to kill us. It caused heart attacks and heart disease and all this stuff. And all you had to do was get your cholesterol down and all this other shit. Sodium is horrible for you. All this. And I really, on a very basic level, I mistrusted that stuff from the beginning. I've always, since I was a kid, I'd just rather eat butter than margarine. I don't, stuff myself with it or anything, but if I had my choice, I would take butter. I never have liked foods that are fried in vegetable oil. I don't know why. I can't pinpoint to you why that is, but I just never have liked that. I've always go to Kentucky Fried Chicken or something. I'll pull the skin off the chicken because it's fried in that shit. So luckily, I just had an aversion to that kind of shit. I never liked it. Not that back then in my 20s and stuff, I did deep research into it was just kind of lucky for me. I just didn't like the shit. Just kind of intrinsically, inherently didn't like it. So I think that has helped me stay relatively healthy and out of the doctor's office, to be frank. And then look at the other things that, there were no weapons of mass destruction, this kind of shit. The Ice Age never came. It was supposed to come within 10 years, and it never came. There was never a global famine, all this other shit. And some of these things were actually, I get this a lot. Oh, humanity came together and fixed the ozone layer, and humanity came together and averted the Y2K. Okay, all right, I get it. Humanity came together in a embrace of, what was that song about the world? We Are the World or whatever. Yeah, we did that, and we saved humanity. But that doesn't erase the fact that they talked about it as if it was a fact, as if it was going to happen. Y2K was supposed to destroy the planet, but it was a big nothing burger. The hole in the ozone layer was going to burn us. We were all going to die of cancer and shit. Nothing. I've never really worn sunscreen, never paid much attention to it. I work outside every day in Florida. I get more sun in probably a month than the average person gets all year round, living up north or whatever. And I never had skin cancer or anything, never had a problem with it. Maybe I'm just lucky. Maybe I'm one of those lucky people that I don't know. But all I know is in my life, I've never paid attention to the shit, didn't worry about the ozone layer, didn't worry about, SPF 10,000. I didn't think the sun was going to kill me, so I didn't worry about it, and nothing happened. So all this shit. And Now we've got the whole weather thing now, which YouTube won't allow me to talk about, but we all know what they're saying now about what's going to happen in the next 10 years. Well, they've been saying it's going to happen in the next 10 years for about 20 years now. But they just keep kicking that can down the road, delaying it a little bit. Oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen next decade. Then that decade gets here. It's going to happen in the 2030s. We're doomed. We have to change our ways and pay more taxes, or the earth is going to be a dried up cinder. But all that stuff they warned us about, all that stuff that we were suspicious of, all that stuff that we thought about and sneered at and distrusted, all that shit came out to be true. All right, every single bit of it. The politicians are stealing from us. I mean, on a just unimaginable scale. The billions upon billions of dollars they are just robbing out from the American people. It's disgusting. But we've not trusted them. A lot of us never voted, or voted very rarely, because we knew it was all a rigged game. And that's why. And that is why right there. Because they're thieves, they're liars, and it's coming out now. And we knew it the whole time. We knew it the whole damn time. So, yeah. So everybody who hasn't been paying attention and just wants to scoff at Gen X because of our sneering skepticism, y'all can take a step back now and open your eyes. And everything you see, all the bullshit, the swamps and oceans of bullshit and lies and illness and death that's coming out now. Gen X, that's what we've been sneering at and been skeptical of this whole time, because we knew. We might not have been able to pinpoint exactly what was going on, but we knew not to trust those people. We knew that they didn't have our best interest at heart. That's what we knew. We didn't know that they were, funneling whatever hundreds of billions of dollars through USAID, but we knew they were robbing us. We knew they were liars and thieves. We didn't know that the pharmaceutical industry was in league with the food industry, and all this shit was, and they were literally feeding us shit to keep us going. It's like a cycle. You go to the doctor and and we funnel our money, most of our paycheck toward addictive food and it's addictive chemicals either way. It's addictive chemicals in our food, and then addictive chemicals from the pharmaceutical industry to counteract the addictive chemicals in the food. And then there's more addictive chemicals from the pharmaceutical industry to counteract the side effects of the addictive chemicals that they gave us to combat the addictive chemicals in the foods. And that crazy shit I just said, as confusing as it was, that's just the world we live in now. That's what's happening. And it sounds insane. It sounds confusing. But that's exactly what's happening. It's by design. And now it's all coming out. And we were right. We were right not to trust them. We were right. They're all scumbags. They're liars. They're either trying to control us or acquire vast wealth for themselves. And maybe some of them or all of them are trying to control shit with that vast wealth. But it's about money and control. And a lot, I'd say, the majority of Gen Xers have realized this for a very, very long time. When you grow up as an individual with that sense of individuality, that sense of independence and self-reliance, you tend to distrust other people saying, oh, I've got your best interest at heart. Take this. Buy this. I'm going to take care of you. No, not Gen X. We take care of our damn selves. And that's just a fact. Again, not every single Gen Xer. Some Gen Xers were spoiled and sheltered and weren't allowed out of their house to play with their friends. I get it. I'm not saying every 100% of Gen Xers walking around the earth today, but I'm saying most of us are independent and self-reliant, and we do not trust people who say that they've got our best interests at heart. And we were right. They didn't have our best interests at heart. They're trying to keep us sick. They're trying to keep us broke. They're trying to steal from us. They are lying to us. They're just about every bad thing you can think of that you can do to a human being, they're doing to us. I mean, it's basically torture. It's just so slow. If you sped up the timeline, it would be torture. It would be illegal if we did this shit to each other. Right? If I sold somebody some stuff that made them sick and then they came back to me or go over one of my family members or something for the cure, right? And then the cure made them sicker, and then, and it kept them in a revolving thing like that. And then they found out and they called the cops. I'd go to jail. I'd go to jail if they found out that I was just going into their bank account and taking their money. What the government does to us. I'd go to jail if I did any of that shit. But these big institutions, these people get up in there in these big billion-dollar corporations, and then they lobby for these laws that protect these corporations, right? These corporations are basically have the rights of humans. They're legal entities, except that they can't go to jail. You can't put, Amazon or Apple in prison for 10 years. So they can't go to jail. The CEOs and those people are protected by the regulations and the laws. These big pharmaceutical industries can't even be sued. You're not even allowed to sue them. I'm going to sue them because they killed, 3 of my family members, and I'm sick as well because of this shit they've been giving us. Oh no, you can't sue them. Nope, it's illegal. Not allowed. Next. You know what I'm saying? That kind of shit. And it's evil. It's screwed up so bad that it's hard to believe. That's why they've been getting away with it for so long, because it's really that bad. It's to the point where it's hard to believe. And anybody that talks about it, they sound crazy. The pharmaceutical industry being in cahoots with the food industry, the cigarette, big tobacco just jumping ship when that went down in the U.S. So they invested in and brought all their scientists over to the food industry to figure out how to make all that shit addictive. And then they're in cahoots with the pharmaceutical industry, and they're keeping us on this hamster wheel of illness when all this stuff we have in our food is illegal around the world. Only in America can they legally give you this shit. Only in America can they put these dyes and preservatives in our food. Just some random weird chemical and call it a preservative. And they monitor themselves. They're the ones, they check themselves. They just submit that it checks out, it's good. And then the FDA is like, okay, let me go cash my check. Go deposit this check in the bank. Next. You know what I mean? It's a rigged game. It's a scheme, and we've known it the whole time. And now it's just now that the details are coming out in the last few years. And now, especially with Elon Musk and Doge and all this stuff, now a lot of details are coming out. But it's crazy. It's literally crazy. We wouldn't have believed it, even though we didn't trust them. We wouldn't have believed back in the day in our 20s. We would not have believed that it was this screwed up. We knew it was screwed up, but we didn't realize how screwed up it was. Yeah. So it's disgusting. But if there's a silver lining on any cloud, and what a dark, just foreboding cloud that this whole thing is over the top of us, the silver lining is that Gen X was right. We knew it the whole time. We knew it. And everybody that laughed at us and all that shit, well, you're finding out now, aren't you? You're finding out that maybe Gen X had a reason to distrust those scumbags. Maybe Gen X had a reason to be cynical. We weren't cynical because it was cool. We were cynical because it was true. We had a reason to be cynical. And I'll leave you there with that. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support Gen X Thinks by becoming a member, I'll put that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there. Or you can head over to Buy Me a Cup of Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. I'll put that link down in the description too. Thank you very much to those of you who do that. If you're interested in Gen X gear, we got some pretty cool stuff over there at Redbubble. Gen X Thinks and Gen X branded stuff. T-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, all kinds of cool stuff. But I'll put that link down in the description for you as well. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. That helps out a hell of a lot, so thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate it. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments. Or you can email us, and the email is genxthinks@gmail.com. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.